Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasati.
Hare Krishna, welcome. So we're understanding the nature of the soul from reading Bhagavad-gita as it is. We're in the second chapter where we get all the different aspects of understanding of the souls. We will get them defined and described in various ways. And today's text is 26. I will read in Sanskrit first. Athachainang nityajatang nityang va manyase mritam tathapitvang mahabaho nainang shochitum arhasi. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Yes, because the previous verses we have described, Krishna has described the nature of the soul, and therefore he's telling Arjuna this battle of Kurukshetra that is eminently necessary, both in a spiritual and material sense at that point in time. But Arjuna is reluctant because he doesn't want to be involved in this killing business on the battlefield. And therefore Arjuna is describing, Krishna of course, Krishna is describing that there's no killing of the soul. Everybody you know as an individual, they will remain an individual person forever. And they will not die. Simply in this context of a battle, some bodies will be finished and then the soul will continue to the next place. But now we hear it from the other perspective. What if you don't believe in the soul? What if you think you die? And then Krishna says, if you think the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you have no reason to lament. Purport: there is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of the soul beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-gita, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as the Lokayatikas and Vaibhashikas. Such philosophers maintain that life symptoms take place at a certain mature condition of material combination. The modern material scientist and materialist philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo-religions, now becoming fashionable in America, are also adhering to this philosophy, as are the nihilistic, non-devotional Buddhist sects. We are looking back in a nostalgic way and thinking everything was so much better before. People lived peacefully, they were spiritual and religious, and they didn't harm the earth, and if we could just do it that way, everything would be so much better. And this is a bit of an illusion, because we're hearing here Bhagavad-gita is spoken 5,000 years ago, and apparently we had similar philosophies in regards to the existence of consciousness and the soul. We know that Buddhism, as mentioned here, it came at a much later date, and our modern type of atheism is even a newer phenomena. But that attitude to spiritual life, or to understanding the world as we see it, to understand consciousness, to understand personality, is nothing new, because this material world is nothing but a place where we can find indications according to our own desires. If we want to see the world like that, we will find the proof. This is very interesting. That's why you ask, if God is there, if there is God's existence is there, can't we just prove it? Can't we just make some experiments and forever remove the doubt? Is God there or is God not there? No, we can't do that, because God is of a spiritual nature. The soul is also of a spiritual nature. There will never be a material proof. There will be indications, there will be logic, and there will be the information from the revealed scriptures. That's where we can base our understanding, and then we can practice a yoga process and we can gain realization. But material proof is not there, because that's not the nature of this world, that is not the purpose of this world. This world is here for us, the spirit souls who turned away from the spiritual world, and we are here and we are allowed to find not proof, I shouldn't say proof, but to find a logic and evidence for anything we want to believe. So if we want to believe that there is no God, everywhere we look, we will see indications of that. If we want to believe any level, we look back in the world, and the things people used to do and believe, we regard them as superstitions. And for sure, if we go forward a few hundred years, we're going to look back at this period in time and see the way we regarded economy as a science. It's nothing but another superstition, but we can't see it because we are right here, and that's what we like to believe. So we find that in almost any debate, whatever is being said, it will only reinforce the audience's previous beliefs, because that is how it works. We have a desire to see things a certain way, and then we will mold whatever evidence is there to support the position we all have already taken. And that's like in small matters of taste, or which brand of car would you favor, which brand of computer, but even up to the bigger questions: is there a soul, is there a God? This is not based on evidence, this is based on what we want to believe, what we want to see in this world. So it's not that 100 years ago everybody believed in God. This takes place 5,000 years ago. You already have atheistic philosophies. You already have these philosophies that say consciousness comes at a certain point when the body is sufficiently developed. So the question is not time and culture as much as it is our sincerity to understand spiritual matters. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in Vaibhashika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. Nobody laments the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duty. On the other hand, in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhashika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul, or he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, there is no reason to grieve for such incidents. If there were no rebirth of the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected by sinful reaction due to his killing his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhashikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooves him to continue to follow its principles. Yeah, this is interesting. We sometimes get that question, you're Hare Krishna and you're living this very specific lifestyle, but what if everything you base it on is not true? What if there is no soul? What if there is no God? What if you're living this life in vain? Then what would you do? And I thought about that, and I'm realizing, well, I still like my lifestyle. This is a lovely life I have. So yeah, what if I die and it turns out the soul did not exist? Well, I would still have had the best life that I could ever think of. So similarly, what if everybody dies? What if they are killed? Well, then they are already temporary. They are already kind of non-existent. They are not really living entities if they are just a manifestation of the combination of chemicals in the body. If you accidentally, if you build a house, you need to buy so many bags of concrete and, sand and so many things. And if you lose a bag of concrete, you're not going to cry. You may be a little annoyed because you'll have to buy another one, but it doesn't have any sentimental value in your life. And similarly, if that's all we are, if the skin is a bag full of certain chemicals and you shake them around a little bit and then consciousness appears, then what does it matter? What does it really matter? If you lose that bag of concrete, you're still going to go to work next day. You're not going to take a day off for for grievances and sitting at home and crying or something like that. Then it doesn't matter. So if it doesn't matter, it also doesn't matter. It's not that Krishna is propounding this philosophy, of course, but it's an interesting perspective. And Bhagavad-gita is nothing but full of interesting perspectives for us to come to a better, more stable understanding of the nature of the soul, so we can begin our practice of bhakti yoga. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang